episode for higher GC News. Bima Ubibia Aqua had the latest hot and qua Aremeyaw Bromo. Erunti Sonya subscribe to channel idea, Bomodia say over subscribe. The Bayan say over click a year subscribe material. Now wabele notification. We answer video for be upload when the first person once ebeka a video. I feel we are now like video. Give us a thumbs up, now fee. Share my wafufro so now when you be here now and somewhere also Ghana by Mohano. I feel you share a year somewhere abeto yapunoso inti a year Sankumuya Babu to report momenti.
Well, so when we're ready with those inserts, we'll record them for you. But I'm a Pratt. What's the since the incident yesterday, the line of communication at the presidency and then in government?
Well, I mean, I'm observing all of this, like you are, Roland. I'm watching this drama, unfold like every other Ghanaian, and honestly, I'm in disbelief, by the way things are going. I just heard, the Honorable Afenyo Markin, and I haven't seen this video. I'm watching this video for the first time. Say that they want to uphold truth and democracy. That's what he just said, right? They want to uphold truth and democracy. Well, would they please just do that? Would they please just uphold truth and democracy? Right? You've made such damning allegations against the government and by extension the state. And I get very uneasy when people say, oh, he just sort of brought it out there. No, he didn't. It wasn't questions that he raised. No, that's not what he did. He made a very categorical, statement that he has chosen to back continuously since he made the first one. I mean, so after the press conference, he could have backtracked when it was pointed out to him the gravity of what he had just done. He could have quickly done that. I think he did in a way because then he took it to Parliament now asking for explanation. But his personal utterances, and the posturing of the MPP as a political party and as a caucus in Parliament could have shown us a certain responsibility that, okay, we may have made a blunder, in our choice of words and in the way that we chose to express when we called the press conference. But upon hindsight, let's temper, the politics with responsibility and be responsible lawmakers. But no, go and read his tweets since then. Every tweet the Reverend Ntim Fordjour has made since this is cocaine spokesperson, cocaine.
So what's your point? That is just mere politicking?
I'm not even there yet. My point is that when you do that, it's not a question of allegation. It's not a question of questions. When you categorically insist that the government and the whole country is involved in drug trafficking and money laundering, and you have somebody, it goes as far as His Excellency the President of the country come and say, oh wow, I need all of the state investigative agencies to collaborate with you so we get to the truth of this matter. That he has zero tolerance for drug trafficking and for money laundering. He says he won't even allow a transit point. Not the end recipients of the cocaine and the money laundering activities, even as a transit point. He doesn't want Ghana even as a transit point. So please, all investigative bodies collaborate with a member of Parliament, the lawmaker, legislator, and let's get to the bottom of this. You want to uphold truth and democracy. Investigative bodies have come to you. Let's go and uphold truth and democracy. And you hold a press conference shielded by your fellow MPs, and you say, no, we will not collaborate, but we want to uphold truth and democracy. Are we going to do this spiritually? This holding of truth and democracy,
he should have appealed himself.
Is it going to be done spiritually? Are we going to do it telepathically?
Well, the response they had at the time is that there are processes and procedures if you want to invite a member of Parliament to come and then give evidence or collaborate with state agencies in this vexed matter.
Okay, did he know that when he called the press conference? Did he know about processes? Did he know about processes and procedures in dealing with these matters, when he called a press conference, when subsequent to that, he started announcing exposés. Come with me to this studio for exposé number 1, exposé number 2. Did he know about processes? And you see, the MPP needs to understand, right, that yes, opposition is important. I will never sit here and speak about a government that has no opposition. Ghana will not benefit from a situation like that. Opposition is important. We need a responsible opposition to keep this government on its toes, to check all of us, to keep all of us, you know, acting responsibly, being accountable to the people of this country. But you see, an irresponsible opposition is a danger. It's a danger to this country. Look at the conversation we are having this morning. Look at the publicity, the light we are shining on ourselves as a country. Does the MPP understand the implications of what is happening? You're not accusing an individual of cocaine. You are accusing a whole state, the whole state apparatus, you know, and for what? So that you can have your moments under the light, so that you can have your moments of glory, of exposés, of jama'ing, if there's anything like that, you know, where you rabble-rouse your people to your house and you call press conferences and you sing and you listen. It's a new era, and it's so unfortunate that as a political party, they are choosing to go down this rabbit hole. I mean, because all of this will settle, right? We have the proper agencies coming out to explain that we have gone on these aircrafts, we have checked these aircrafts, there's no cocaine on there, no money laundering is involved. You see, for me, and I said this somewhere else yesterday, all of these exposés will end, right? So right now we are Nikki picking. We are saying that, oh, the color of the aircraft in this picture is wrong. It's a different color here. We are saying that, oh, the aircraft did not go through this route, it went through that route. Nitty-picking. I'm saying that tomorrow they will come up with another exposé that says, well, the pilot wore a yellow shirt, he did not wear a brown shirt. And we'll do all of these things. But you see, we will finally get to the point where you have to prove that there was cocaine and money laundering.
It will be done.
All of this will settle.
You mean you'll be called before the investigative agencies?
I mean, are we going to leave this hanging? Do you want this left hanging on the conscience of this country? No. As a Ghanaian, I need to see finality to this matter. You can have all the press conferences that you want, you can, but you see, all of this will settle. And then when it settles, what's the MPP going to say about his conduct? Forget the Reverend Ntim Fordjour. I think for him, he's loving the attention. He's loving all the exposés it's giving him. He's enjoying his moments of glory, which is great. Politicians love that. Good on him. But when the dust settles, where does this leave us? Where is responsible and accountable opposition? Because perhaps the MPP doesn't understand. For me, it's not about winning elections, right? And this has...
He said he's playing his oversight role.
This?
Yeah, he said, well...
This?
He's raised a concern, and so he expects the security agencies to come up with evidence to support, because that's a suspicion. So
tomorrow, as a private citizen, I wake up in the morning, I say, oh, I saw Roland walk into TV3 this morning. Roland must be selling tomatoes in the studio. And then when you ask me for proof, I say, well, Roland, you prove it. I am exercising my duties as a citizen of this country. I'm a whistleblower. I've blown a whistle. Right? You give us nothing and say, I've given some facts. You give us essentially nothing. The fact that the plane landed here, nobody's contesting. The fact that, you know, it did not come again, I've said this, to carry out its core function, you know, as an airmail, that's not what it came to do. We've been given credible information as to what happened. The Honorable Felix Kwachu has explained exactly what the situation was. Still, you say, no, these are my facts. Now, you, the one that I'm accusing, come and prove it. In which law book do we use the exception to the rule as the rule? Where you the one that's alleging, you are saying, no, I won't prove. You, the one I'm accusing.
Well, he says oversight. He's clothed with the powers to do that.
This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
All of this is ridiculous.
So, having observed all this, now culminating in that incident at his house yesterday, would you say, or do you think, that the minority and the embattled member of parliament are overly sensationalizing this, or perhaps too much aggrandizing the role that they have to play, and then the effort, so to speak, being the response that they are playing oversight roles in this matter?
Okay. Anyway, good morning.
Morning.
They are politicians, and politicians, or some politicians, are wont to theatrics and everything, but the security agencies have given them the opportunity to do that. So they have been given the platform and they are doing the theatrics, and we are all watching. But as a matter of curiosity, he's a reverend for which church? His own private church?
I think he has his own church also, or Victory.
Okay,
church, yeah.
so
but he's a reverend.
He's a reverend.
Victory Bible Church.
Okay.
I hope not.
Are you a member of Victory Bible Church?
Oh, I mean,
Well, look for it. I'll look for
My
his
uncle is a
assembly.
bishop.
It is his own church.
I
Okay,
hope
that's fine. I just curiosity.
What's that got to do with? Because
Oh,
your question is character.
Maybe I'm not questioning his character. I mean, I am questioning the posturing. Maybe I have a certain idea of how men of the cloth are supposed to behave in certain ways, and maybe in the normal curve, he's not behaving in the way that you would think that supposedly a man of God should behave. Because I would think, and this is why I think, that if, as he's a ranking member for Defense and Interior, if he found something that is wrong, that goes to tarnish the image of this country, it's not about the politics, but the image of this country. The first thing to do would not to be sit at a press conference and blare things out. You know, he has a certain privileged position of being a member of parliament, of being the ranking member for Defense and Interior. I'm sure that he could always ask to meet the security agencies and say, look, this has come to my attention and it doesn't do well for the image of this country, you know, and maybe do that and nothing happens. Then you can say that, one, I want to take another step to ensure that something happens. Can he tell us for a fact that he took the quiet route of, you know, safeguarding the image of this country? We have a lot of politicians who really don't care about this country. All theirs is to do some grandstanding and, you know, cloak it and make it look.
You think that's what he's doing?
I'm saying my thing. So let me say my thing.
Yes, please.
And let people.
I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Let people judge for themselves.
Okay, sir.
Whether this is some behavior of somebody who has love for this country and takes a certain action. Because you try certain measures, and if it doesn't work, then you said, look, now I'm going to go public with it because I have tried the quiet way. I have tried to save this country's face and things like that, and I'm not getting the response that is required. So maybe if he's done that, fine. But has he done that? I don't believe so, because the way he's hopping from station to station, he would have said that, look, I would love for this country and ensuring this, and I quietly went to the security agencies, I said this, and nobody took notice of it, and this has forced me to come out to do what I am doing. None of that. Okay. I've heard him, you know, sometimes borderline trying to accuse even the president, you know, of certain complicity in this thing. And I'm like, wow, really? You know, but you see, we have allowed our politics to degenerate to this point sometimes, you know, and we get the politicians doing the grandstanding and the theatrics, and maybe because we encourage it and we you know, I don't know, it goes on and on and on, and because of that, certain people have just switched off and don't want to even know.
Very apathetic. So the politics of the day.
To the politics of the day, and you look, you can pick 10 Ghanaians off the street and ask them that. So what do you think is happening? What are the current things? And they're like, we don't care. We're going about our normal businesses, because the grandstanding, and we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't allow that to happen. But coming back to
the incident yesterday.
The incident yesterday, I think that the security forces could have also found a better way of going about it. We know that members of parliament have certain privileges. It's not a right, it's a privilege. Okay, they have certain privileges that you have to go through if you want to do that. This person, he's not about to run away. He's a member of parliament, he's not about to run away. We don't need the Gestapo type of thing that went on. Okay, go through the normal process. He's not about to run away. Go through, if you have to go through the speaker, write a letter to the speaker, have to interview him in the speaker's things. Do the things that everybody would also look at you and say, look, they have done it by the book. And because they have done it by the book, and this person, it actually shows up the person if the person is hollow. You get it, because when you go by the book, because when you do incidences like this, then this becomes the topic instead of the person's behavior and the thing that the person is doing. Then this becomes the topic, and then we are like, oh, Asikiti people, da, 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 da. We've had enough of that kind of nonsense. You were looking for the tape.
No, I'll recall it for you after.
Yeah, the tape.
Or should you?
No, with this mass.
Please let me record them for so that you can continue. Okay. So that said,
I'm not landed there, but our security agents, that show of brutal force,
bravado.
Yeah, it's
British.
It is British. It is
Gestapo-like.
Gestapo-like. It's unhealthy.
Revolutionary style.
Those who actually, it's unnecessary. Those who actually have power. Power is quiet and power is silent. And power, is menacing in its silence. Look, if they had done the right thing quietly, and they had actually gone through the procedure quietly, if this man, this member of parliament, given that maybe he is not speaking the truth, I don't know, you understand, it would have been even more fearful for him. He would have even been more afraid, because it would have shown up his character, it would have shown that he's not. This kind of thing, he's going to hide behind it and do more, and probably still be hopping from station.
You mean instead of the substance of what he said, whether it's true or untrue, becoming the subject, this one rather has become the subject.
Has become the subject. And then we're going to go off in the tangent, and you find people in the street who are not going to listen to the substance of the matter and are going to go more on the tangent of it. Right now, I'm sure if you pick 10 MPP, what do you call it? Food soldiers or apparatus, they don't even know. They say, oh, we want to cocaine food be now, no, I'm going if you. They're not even going to rationalize it. You understand? So I think that, like we said, power can be menacing when it is silent and when you do it by the book. We should move away from this Gestapo, British, Neanderthal kind of behavior and go to the more subtle, more powerful way of doing things, and do it by the book. You understand? So that nobody has the opportunity to do this kind of grandstanding. Some people want to launch their political careers with this. You get it? So that they can say that, oh, when there was a crisis, you saw me and da 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 da.
So this is grandstanding?
Well, I mean,
outdooring of a Messiah?
That is going to happen. But given that some people say they are men of God, they will probably want to see that.
Now, there are significant differences between what happened in 2023 and what happened now. And the significant difference is that these planes flew under radar. Very important.
But they were declared missing.
But they flew under radar. Completely illicit. They didn't get clearing permits. So they landed illegally. They flew under radar. That's 2023.
Like thieves.
They came in the thick of night, as it were. They flew under radar and came into this country in 2023 and tested positive for cocaine. Now, the other thing which is most important about this is that the pilots managed to run away. 2023, the pilots flew these 2 planes into Ghana illegally, without permission. The planes tested for cocaine, but the pilots managed to run away. Significant. Now let's come to what is happening now. You know, Senna, I just can't wrap my head around what is happening now. And what is happening is absolutely nonsensical. I don't know why we are wasting our time with it. First, let's deal with the issue of capacity. There's a guy who addresses a press conference and says that I'm speaking on behalf of the minority. This is press conference. I'm speaking on behalf of the minority. When he sees the problems that are coming out of the press conference, he retreats. And now says, I'm speaking on behalf of the parliamentary committee. When that doesn't go well, he quickly retreats again and now is speaking on behalf of the minority. What is the capacity? Who is he speaking for? And up to today, he says he's not speaking for himself. He's not owning his statements. He cannot own his statements. He's either speaking for the parliamentary committee or speaking for the minority. So he's not even owning the statements. That's important. Then, Masa, for me, the biggest joke of all, the biggest joke. The guy says, I am very suspicious that something is wrong. And my suspicion, most importantly, is based on the fact that an ambulance aircraft came into Ghana. There was no dead body on it. There was no sick person on it. And I haven't seen a medical referral. What? Boss, can you believe this?
This is Ghana.
This will not happen in Kukusland. Kukusland, it won't happen there. So the suggestion is that anytime you see an ambulance, there must be a dead person on it. If there's not a dead person on it, there must be a sick person on it, or you must see a medical referral. What nonsense! And we are following this. Is that true? That anytime you see an ambulance, there must be a dead person on it, there must be a sick person on it, or there must be a medical referral. Is this the basis of suspicion? I can't believe it. And we are dancing around in circles around this rigmarole. I mean, what is this? It doesn't end there. The joke doesn't end there. I saw a clip of one of the leaders of the NPP being interviewed by a beautiful lady. And the lady poses a very simple question. Does Ntim Fordjour have evidence? And the man gets very angry. And he ends up saying that the evidence is in the inconsistencies. The inconsistencies are the evidence. Why are we following this? Masha, what is wrong with us? Then they say, we want more information. So, 2 days ago, asked, so what is the information they want? One, we have been provided with the type of aircrafts that came into the country. We know the types. We know the registration details of the aircrafts. We know. We know the cargo they carried. We know. We have customs inspection reports. We know. We know the dates of their arrival and so on. So what other information are they looking for? What information has not been provided? Has anybody been able to tell you what information they are looking for which has not been provided? I'm baffled. And this thing has gone on and on and on and on and on for 2 weeks. Nothing, no substance, empty air. 2 weeks. Look at the problems we've been discussing around this table. They are all forgotten. And this empty air has been discussed for 2 weeks. And then, now, the thing has shifted to some other things. I mean, oh, the people who came to arrest him, they were wearing masks. Master, you know better than me. I'm a former MP, knowledgeable person, current MP, and my brother here, we are quite knowledgeable. Tell me, security services under some circumstances cannot wear masks? Are you telling me that this particular case? Tell me what is wrong. Somebody must be telling me what is wrong. So, Master, I used to say I am tired. I'm tired of this particular conversation. I used to say that. Now I'm not tired. I'm angry. I'm angry that anybody, any group of persons will decide to take us on this merry-go-round. Complete merry-go-round. No merit, nothing. Just noise-making. I can't believe it. And then the guy now is taking on titles. The last title I saw was in some newspaper. What was he called? You understand? Master, I think we should drop it. Let's drop it. It has no value. Let's drop it. Look, when he held this press conference, you know that the president did not order his arrest. The president did not order his arrest. What the president simply said was that, oh, like you, I'm worried about these serious allegations that you are making. And that we should work together in order to establish the facts.
Collaborate.
So, and the effective word was collaboration. So I'm instructing the security agencies to collaborate with you to go into all your suspicions and establish the facts for the benefit of every Ghanaian, for the benefit of everybody. That's what the president said. Guy says, I'm not coming. You lie bad. I won't come. Come and work with us. In fact, that is your responsibility as a member of the Defense and Interior, what committee is that?
Defense and Interior
Committee. That is your responsibility. You are supposed to be working with the state security agencies. It's your responsibility. Carry out your responsibility. He says, no, I'm not coming. And for 2 weeks, he hasn't come. And we are dancing around him. You know, and then, Master, let's drop it. Master, let's drop this matter.
Very interesting listening to the discussion. Somebody even cites the president, what the president's post on Facebook as evidence that there's something there. And that if there's nothing there, why did the president say that they should go and investigate the matter?
That's his interpretation.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting just listening to the debates across on this matter. It's so
clutching a straw, clutching a straw, knowing that eventually it will get to nothing. Everybody involved in this drama knows that this is not going anywhere. Just a waste of time. And my brother, listen. Even the origin of the aircrafts, they get it wrong. Even the origin of the aircrafts, they get it wrong. And then this thing about this air ambulance, that how come? In fact, I was listening to one senior member of the NPP and I laughed. He says, even the fact that the aircraft stopped here for fueling shows that there's something wrong. Because when they were moving from where they were coming from, didn't they calculate how much fuel they would take?
No.
Why do they have to land here?
It doesn't work.
Master, there are aircrafts with a smaller capacity for carrying fuel.
They pick fuel everywhere.
So they pick fuel as they go along.
Even the flights that come from Europe to Africa, they pick fuel before they go back.
That is true. In fact, the Gulf Stream, our presidential jet, it flew from Accra to Havana. When it got to Brazil, it couldn't continue because the fuel couldn't take it there.
Oh, it has to pick fuel.
So it has to pick fuel from Brazil. Okay? It's normal practice for aircraft to stop to pick fuel. Because some of them don't have big enough fuel tanks to do more than a certain number of hours. And in fact, on this panel, we are privileged because this man is a pilot. He knows he's a pilot. If what I'm saying is wrong, tell me. He's a licensed pilot.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? That's a licensed pilot sitting here. And a senior member of the New Patriotic Party. I don't blame him if he doesn't know. We don't know everything. None of us knows everything. But the fact of the matter is that smaller aircrafts, as they travel, they keep taking fuel because of the size, the capacity they have for carrying fuel. And this is the basis. They say this is also one of the suspicions. Hey, babe!
A journalist with, I think, GH1 wrote to Ahmed on these allegations, and this is what they say, that, on March 20th, 2025, Ahmed International Aircraft N823A departed the United States for a scheduled international patient transport. As part of the planned flight path, the aircraft made multiple stops for fuel, including a stop at Kojo International Airport.
Multiple stops. Multiple stops.
So I checked. They actually stopped in Morocco before they came. They didn't just come from Gran Canaria, Morocco, Accra, to wherever they were going to. So
they continued that upon landing in Ghana, the aircraft experienced a maintenance issue.
Exactly.
2 blown tires that required replacement. No patient was on board at the time. To address the mechanical issue, a second aircraft was dispatched with the necessary replacement parts, supplies, and 2 maintenance technicians. Over the next several days, repairs to aircraft N823AM were completed, and we returned to the US on March 25, following standard protocols and the required rest period for the flight crew. On its return flight, N823AM made a planned 4 stop at Gran Canaria airports, and continues will fully cooperate in any official inquiry into N823AM's presence in Ghana. We are confident that the flight documentation and mission details will clearly demonstrate that the Ahmed aircraft was not engaged in any illicit or illegal activities.
So that means Gran Canaria wasn't even its original.
No. So it came from a place in the US called Birmingham, Alabama. So from Birmingham, Alabama to Gran Canaria to West Coast, and then West Coast to wherever it was going. The last destination I'm still not sure of where they're going to pick the passenger. And then then the second one came with the technical crew.
Okay.
So the technical crew came with the spare parts and the tires and stuff. I came to do the changes here and needed certification on needed it to be signed off. So they signed off before they went back. So the second aircraft went to continue with the mission of picking the passenger, came back, refueled, and then they left. That's what transpired.
Well, there's a very interesting angle. I heard one of the press conferences, one very senior member of the NPP actually saying that, the plane which is supposed to have brought the spare parts, it didn't have a hole for cargo.
That's what doesn't do. It was very wrong. It didn't make sense.
But this is the evidence, this is based on their suspicion.
No.
The second aircraft didn't have a hold for cargo.
In fact, that aircraft has enough hold for cargo. And even when we don't have any passengers, you can put the parts in the plane. Because, when COVID came, we converted all these, commercial aircraft into cargo. We're just putting the nose marks on the seats. Ethiopian Airlines, that's what they were doing, and they were putting them on the seats and flying. So you can use the space for anything you want to use.
So if you don't have the information, don't talk. If you don't know, don't address a press conference. Save your party. Your party already is under stress. Adwo is throwing bombs and so on. Concentrate on that. You don't have the facts, you don't have the analysis. You want to address press conferences.
I just have through grenades. She's warming up for the bombs. Let me thank you.
Yo, it is for winning a reporter. Abato, Yapono, Mikao said, so when you subscribe to channel idea, Bomodi say over subscribe. Now, while like a video, give us a thumbs up. Now, share my work for Froso. Now, when you be here now, and somewhere else, I will Ghana memo. Also, bet me otchere wadwin afa ye somewhere nyina ho ewo comment box no mobati minkabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.